The way that one's mind is known with more certainty than anything external to it, including one's own body, has led some philosophers to think that the mind is not the same thing as the body. This is the thesis known as dualism. Descartes, for example, argued in the Sixth Meditation that because we can know that the mind exists without knowing whether or not bodies exist, if, say, the skeptics are right, then the mind cannot depend for its existence on the body. More precisely, he argued that bodies are not necessary for the existence of any mind. If bodies are not necessary for the existence of the mind, then the mind could exist without the body, and vice versa. But if that's true, mind and body must be two distinct things, for if they were one thing, the mind could not exist apart from the body. Here's Descartes' real distinction argument in full. Premise 1. If A can be clearly and distinctly conceived apart from B, then A can exist apart from B. Premise 2. If A can exist apart from B, then A and B are really distinct. Premise 3. I can clearly and distinctly conceive my mind apart from my body. And so the conclusion follows, therefore, my mind and my body are really distinct. Notice how this argument relies on the assumption that clearly and distinctly conceiving one thing apart from another is sufficient for knowing that they could exist apart. The clearly and distinctly clause is added to exclude the consequence that any old conceptual distinction will imply a real, that is, metaphysical distinction. If I didn't know, for example, that Batman was the same person as Bruce Wayne, I'd be inclined to think that they could exist apart. But it wouldn't follow that they could. In this kind of case, Descartes would say that I'm just confused about whether these names refer to the same person or not. My knowledge of Batman is insufficient in some important respect. But when I think about the mind, its thoughts, its being conscious, Descartes claims that nothing is left out if I do not relate it to any body. It is enough to know that something is a mind, to know that it is conscious, thinking, willing, feeling, and so on. My thinking that my mind is distinct from my body is not a sign of either confusion or ignorance. Or is it? Philosophers once thought that arrangements of inert matter could never explain why something is alive, and posited the existence of a distinct entity, the soul, to explain the difference between living and non-living things. By Descartes' time, this soul-matter distinction was, for many philosophers, dead in the water, even though it would be some time before organic chemistry began to unpack the biological processes that account for life. Could it be that as neuroscience advances, the mind-body distinction will similarly be discarded as a relic of our pre-scientific understanding? Or is the mind special in nature?